He was a former world-class champion athlete. Now he coaches world-class athletes, Olympic athletes. He coaches executives. He's a brilliant and voted one of the best, or nominated for the best motivational speaker. He's here to give you some mental fitness this morning. Please welcome Rasmus Bagger.
Thank you. Whoa, thank you. Good morning, how are you? Fine, some of you, fine. I heard yesterday that wasn't an emotion, fine. So let's see if we can do better during today. My name is Rasmus Bagger, and well, basically I'm a performance coach. I help people move. I help them, hopefully, to gain access to their biggest dreams and goals. I help people win more. I work with ambitious people and organizations. Any ambitious people in the room? Yes, and a few hands I see here and there. So obviously I imagine all of you are ambitious, otherwise you wouldn't be here. See, I'm a seminar junkie as well. I love going to events like this. I love meeting people, receiving inspiration, and then obviously I would love to try to apply it to my own life. Yesterday, on the small stage, next door, I just briefly in my talk touched upon the topic of the art of coaching, just briefly. I also had to pump up the energy. My goal and idea today, my aim today would be to try to get a little more contextual, a little more into the context of tools, practical tools that you yourself can take away and apply in your own professional leadership. Hope you're up for that. Are you up for that? Great. So my background, I've always found myself in the interaction between, or interaction between the world of sports and the professional corporate world. I have a background in the financial industry, management consulting, and obviously coaching. And then in the world of sport, I started out as, I don't know, what would you call it, a loser in sport. Well, basically, I was frustrated. I couldn't understand why everybody else beside me were winning. I wasn't winning at all. So I got curious. I wonder what I could do differently. And finally, I understood that there was something out there called psychology. So basically, yesterday, I touched briefly upon the art of coaching. Today, I will talk about this invisible force inside all of us that I basically use while coaching Olympic and corporate athletes, as I call it. So my clients are, like Neil already told you, I have, I think in this given moment I have 4 or 5 horse riders in the world ranking top 10. So I'm very happy about that, obviously, but I have had that for like 10 years straight. So horses, you say, what the hell is that? What does that have to do with me? Well, horses are amazing at telling the truth. They are amazing at telling the truth because they always, immediately, brutally tell you who you are. Basically, they tell you that they mirror the quality of who you are at this present moment. And if, by the way, they perceive you to be safe, they will follow you. But if they perceive you to be unsafe, they won't. They'll disconnect. And some of us, we go like, well, damn it. I've learned a lot about leadership. I've been to all the seminars. I have my diplomas and certificates. And still, my employees don't follow. Well, perhaps that's because you're using the lowest level of leadership, called title-based leadership. People follow you because they have to. How about we get them to the next level, where people follow you because they want to? And how do we do that? Well, it's an invisible force, I'd say. It's an invisible force, like radiation is an invisible force. Gravity is an invisible force. Electromagnetic energy is an invisible force. But so is love and hate. That's an invisible force. And 2 human emotions that will probably change your world more than anything else. We think it's intellect, but really it's human emotion that will move us to action. So human emotion will create wars, start wars, create peace. It will make us fall in love, get married, or even divorced if we don't manage well. So perhaps our goal here today should be to become a master of this invisible force called the human emotion. Are you up for that? Are you sure? Okay, great. Are you bullshitting me right now? How many of you like challenges in the room? All of you, great. Keep your hand up, I want to see. Who is ready for a challenge here on the stage right now? You are bullshitting me. I mean, don't answer me this question. I wonder where else this behavior shows up in your life. I mean, lying, right? I'm ready for a challenge. I like challenges. Not right now. I'm kidding. Thank you for, by the way, behaving like you're supposed to. Going like, yeah, sure, we like challenges, right? And especially if you're your own boss sitting next to you, right? You have to go like, I love challenges. So, and that's one of the things I've been studying for most of my life, actually. And that's what really did the tipping point for me from becoming a hopeless loser to actually succeeding in winning in different sports. Copy-pasting the psychology, putting it into new sports and becoming a champion there. And then later on, teaching strategies, specific strategies, some of which I will teach you today in Olympic sports and for my executive athletes as well. So hopefully you're up for it. I'd say yesterday probably you heard a lot about the emotional intelligence, but this invisible force called human emotion is different from emotional intelligence. This invisible force called human emotion it's like a state of readiness, this emotional fitness. It's a state of readiness. And that's what we want to get clear on or get conscious about. Because if we do, we could use it deliberately, understanding that our emotions are there to serve us, not to haunt us. Where do you live emotionally? Now, if you can't remember anything at all from my short speak here, this is what you want to remember, because this is so stupid easy. And I call it my fundamental conclusion to understanding human behavior, and that is the following. What we do, we will master the most. What we do, we will master the most. And obviously, we know this already. That's why we do the things we do. Except some of us, you know somebody that knows somebody, perhaps even ourselves, that forgets about this conclusion that what we do, we will master the most when it comes to our psychology. And when I say psychology, basically I mean our thoughts and our emotions combined. So what do I mean about what we do will master the most? Well, just look at the evidence. Negative or positive. Negative people tend to stay or become even more negative because they rehearse this shit. I'm sorry for swearing. You can't swear on a stage, I've heard, unless you're talking psychology, because then it becomes a technical term, shocking language. So put that on the wall, right? So what about positive persons? They tend to stay positive and become even more positive. Conscious people, whoa, they tend to find a way to get conscious, confident. What about nervous people, stressed people? It's an emotion they get, habitually. They find themselves habitually, at home in these emotions. And it goes further than that, because what we feel, what we think, turns into our action, our behaviors, which, by the way, are always reflected, given feedback by people around us. Right now, I don't know, it's like a couple of thousand people in the room, all of it which giving me feedback via your body language. Some of you are enjoying it, thank you. The rest of you, I hope to wake you up, or perhaps it's just because I can't really see you. But anyways, that turns back to our feedback and our perception of ourselves. So if I tend to believe, because of the feedback, that I might not be that clever, I tend to feel stupid, for instance, or even clever, for instance, because what I do, I'll master the most. Unhealthy people tend to stay unhealthy or become even more unhealthy, heavy, Healthy people, the other way around. Rich people, wealthy people tend to stay wealthy or become even more wealthy, whereas poor people tend to become even more poor. And in the world of sports, well, winners tend to stay winners or become winners even more, whereas losers tend to stay losers or become even more losing in their game. So understanding that it's a pattern and it's a choice helps us. So how do we do that? Well, how about we start with ourselves? How about we start with a short reflection? So please, you told me that you were up for a challenge, right? Right? Okay, good. Like I said yesterday, just to provoke, I wasn't trying to be a provocateur. I was actually just trying to get a reaction. Because in that reaction, you could take a reflection, understanding yourself better or the world or the message better. So the reaction, the reflection could get you to go to the proaction, to do better, to respond better to your life. You don't have to agree, but you could do, things more consciously relating to your path, your values, the one you want to become even more. So here's the challenge. Please do a short reflection. We'll move pretty fast. I know it's too fast, but just to get you into it and understanding that you could actually spend more time on this exercise and you could actually do it, every quarter. You could even do it back home in your teams. And obviously, it's about emotions. Sometimes when I say the word emotions, in boardrooms or, high management, I lose all the guys because they look at me like with a question mark, emotions, with an S, plural? Are there that many? Yep, there is more than fine, right? And then here's the exercise. By the way, emotions, especially the energy, it's a state, a state management, emotional state. It's an energy, it's a mood. Understanding that it's already there, we could use it deliberately. Are you still alive? Yes. It's early, right? So if you are alive, that means you are having emotions right now. And by the way, it's visible in your body language. For most of you, it's pretty good even this morning. So here's the challenge, here's the reflection. The last period of your professional career could be the last month. Last 4 weeks, just let's go for 4 weeks. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. We'll have some background music in a minute when we start the exercise. And I want you to reflect on the following question. For the last 4 weeks, thinking about your career, your role perhaps as a leader, not only when you are at the office or out on the work field or talking with the employees, but also when you're walking the dog at home, thinking about work. Or waking up, we just heard Dr. Els van der Helm talking about the importance of sleep on next stage. So when you wake up, perhaps, in the middle of the night, in a nightmare, thinking about work. Well, also these situations. So every time you thought about work for the last 4 weeks, I want you to put a name on all the emotions you can remember you've had thinking about work the last 30 days. And I would love for you to take notes. So bring out your phone if you want to, and just, brainstorm. You don't have to qualify why you felt frustrated. If you felt frustrated, you just type in frustration, and then you move on to the next. By the way, it would be totally normal that you would have both positive and negative emotions on your list when you're done. And scientists, they tell us that if you only have 10 emotions on your brainstorm or less when you're done in 1 minute, they say it should be a proof of very, very, very low level of self-awareness. Like really, really, really low level of self-awareness. Like almost, I'm kidding. I don't know what scientists tell. I just want you to push yourself. I just want you to push yourself. Go for more than 4 and 5. I heard that in the English language, it should be 4,400 words describing an emotional state. And I'm guessing that you are like me, struggling with naming 10, 15 of them. So please go, we'll have some background music, and I will shut up for 1 minute. Go. Believe it or not. Ladies and gentlemen, can I please get you to do one thing for me? Please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up. Now grab a partner, just one, and share with them. Share with them what you've written down. What were some of your emotions for the last couple of weeks? And if you feel inspired, just take notes. And we will start the next song, background music. Just share, just share. All right. We turn up the music. Thank you. High five your partner. High five your partner if you dare. High five. High five. High five him. Okay, and please take a seat feeling great. Take a seat feeling great. I'm sorry for pushing you, but we have a lot to cover, so please continue. You can always revisit your emotions. So, what do we have here on this list? Well, basically what we have on that list is a very important insight toward your current, or at least for the last month or so, level of performance. The quality of your performance level is actually visible in that list. I know if you had the time, you could get even more accurate, more details. But basically, it gives us an insight toward the quality of how you were able to perform for the last 4 weeks. Now, what we do, we will master the most. I wonder if there are any of the emotions on your list you would like to rehearse even more. Or if there were some of them you'd like to change for something better. Because what is leadership all about? Well, for me at least, it's becoming more you, more of you, more authentic you, from your natural strength and talent profile, combining with, second, the person you want to become even more, the leader you want to become even more. Nothing wrong with who you are, but the things, the character traits, the values, the energy, the emotional stage you need to live the life you want, to be able to perform at the level you need, to make sure that you actually access the goals and dreams you have. I hope that makes sense, because it's very important. So how do we do that? How do we do that? Well, what about deciding who you want to become even more? Well, basically, it's a 4-step process, actually. I use it with my horse riders, dressage riders, show jumpers, and I use it with my corporate athletes. Because when they show up in their emotional fitness, the state of readiness, they themselves become better. And here's the thing, I love this quote from John Maxwell. He says, the true measure of leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. That means if I want to influence anybody, my horse, you, my children, my employees, anybody, I need to influence this guy first. Because if I don't, I have to pull rank. And perhaps I don't have the rank. So I must make sure that I go into a state that fits me, that suits me, that kind of like is coherent to the guy I want to become even more, the man I want to become even more me on my terms. Who do you want to become even more? For instance, if you just look at the 2 top negative emotions on your list, or the 2 top positive emotions on your list. The 2 positive ones, are they good enough? Or do you need more? Sometimes people realize that, for instance, in their own companies, even the ones they founded themselves, that the values, the mission, vision, value statements, that some of the values actually they have written down strategically actually is something you can feel. There's a vibe to it, it's an energy, and they are way off on their list. They don't even feel the emotions that is important. They deem themselves as important for their companies. We want to make sure that there's kind of like, I don't know, a similarity in our values, because then it makes it easier to join the company or enhance the company, the quality of the results in the company. Why? Because imagine this. Imagine that on a Slido, we took all of the emotions you've written down on the Slido, and we converted all these emotions into a number. From -10 to +10. Obviously, hate would be minus something 10, love or gratitude would be +10 or something. And then in between. Then we would have a number, the average number, which, by the way, would be our contribution, if we work together in a company, to the quality of the culture created that day. Meaning, all of us, we turn into our jobs, and we don't go into our jobs every day, and we show up in a state. Is that a state of readiness or not? Because if it's not, you're cheating. You're cheating the company, the clients, your employees, obviously, but you're cheating yourself. You're supposed to understand that you have a choice to direct you into the person you want to become even more, the leader you want to become even more. So how do we do that? I have to pick up the pace due to the time. Well, 4 easy steps to becoming a natural leader. Step 1, you choose. Choose the emotions you rather have, especially you want to perform, at your best until, on purpose, now. You could always go back to depression or demotivated or frustration or whatever. But sometimes you need to influence, and you step into your state of readiness. You choose it. Step 1, choose it. What is step 1? Repeat after me, choose. Step 1? Thank you. Step 2 is show. Show it with what? Your body language. I mean, the language of the brain, that's our thoughts. Too many of them. How do we control that? Well, we call that focus, by the way. It's a choice, deliberate, conscious choice of what we want to think about to perform better. But by the way, the better we feel the state of readiness, the better, the emotion we have in our body, the faster, the smoother, the easier we think. It enhances the quality of our thinking patterns, our decision making. And it influences others in the process. And by the way, it enhances the capability to use our bodies to communicate even better. So the brain have a language, it's called thoughts. The emotions have a language, it's called body language. And for most of the world, it actually is pretty similar. So a baby, in Russia can talk to a baby in Denmark. A baby in China can talk to a baby in US. Because the body language is the same. And now we're just bigger babies. You still speak body language. I see it all the time. Meaning, the body language you have right now, you are showing, is also you showing how you feel now. By the way, showing if you're ready or not, if you're open to network or not, if you're ready to influence or not. And everything is okay with me. I just want you to realize you have a choice to become the person you want to become even more. So basically, these 4 steps, the 2 first are the one you need to really, take charge of. So choose what? Choose the emotion. Do what? Show that emotion with your body language. And by the way, we'll have just a short exercise to end the session. Because if you do choose and show, you start to feel. When you feel better, you step into your state of readiness, becoming that master of this invisible force called the human emotions. And by the way, when you feel that emotion, you are contagious. People feel it. You know this already. You've entered a room where the mood was great, but you had a bad day, and immediately you felt better, and vice versa. You've heard this. You've tried this before, and this is the thing about horses. They reflect that energy immediately. So when we say negative, they say insecure. I don't want to follow. I disconnect. This is an insecure leader. Humans do too, by the way. We're just more polite, some of us. So choose it, show it, feel it. When you feel it, you automatically give it to others. Many people tend to do this the other way around. That's why I call it natural leadership. They get led. So depending on what people are doing around them, their circumstances, they are giving a feeling. That feeling you can see, it's visible in their body language. And when you talk about it, when you talk to them, answer them coaching questions, they tell you how they are led by circumstances, meaning not in control. So choose the emotion you need to step into that invisible force called the human emotion to access your state of readiness. Here, lastly, 2 minutes. Please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up. Grab a partner. Grab a partner. Decide who's person A, who's person B. Decide who's A, who's B. Who's A, who's B. Who is A, who's B. All right, great. Who's A, who's B? Good. All right, good. B, you go first. You go first. Here's the deal. Let's make sure that we understand that we are actually bigger experts, bigger babies in body language already. So face to face, front to front. Person B, I'm going to name an emotion. Your job is to demonstrate to A. And A, you observe. And by the way, I saw all the B's go, damn it, I should have taken A instead. We will shift role all the time, so B also get to watch A demonstrate. But B, you start. B, show A, how does it look like when you are motivated? Motivation, show it. Show motivation. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Thank you. Person A. Person A, now it's your turn. Person A, show B, how does it look like when you are frustrated? Frustration. All right, great. Person B, your turn. Your turn. Person B, how does it look like? Let's just step it up, damn it. How does it look like when you're in love? Yeah, that's it. That's it. I heard somebody go, I can't remember, damn it. That's okay, that's okay. Let's go for one more. Person A, how does it look like when you are totally confident? Bring it on. A lot of confidence. A lot of confidence. 2 more emotions and then we're done. Great. Person B. Person B. Last emotion for you, person B. How does it look like when you feel depressed? Feel depressed. Oh. Let's move on from that. Last emotion, person A. Person A. How does it look like when you just won the Olympic Games in any sport? Yeah! Oh, wow, wow. You know this already, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for playing. I can't go, who knows somebody who's depressed? But you know the body language. Eyes up or down. Down, head up or down, the depression, down. Shoulders up or down. Everything is down. International body language for depression. How about, I would like to learn, who won the Olympic Games. Half of the group, 2,000 persons, showed the victory body language with noise. They said, yeah, amazing. Why don't we step into our state of readiness deliberately to become the leader we want to become even more? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Thank you. Choose, show, feel, give. Choose, show, feel, give.
Just a second, just a second. But really, really interesting, interesting speech. You're being humble. Just for the background, a little bit more of your background for those who don't know. How many different Olympic, what's it called, branches did you train? Because I know you won many medals, basically.
So I have myself won an Olympic Games.
Yeah.
What my clients have. But I did I was fortunate enough to find smaller sports in Denmark. You know, small steps, right?
So I meant Danish championships.
So I won, I think it's like 19 different, so in 4 different sports, and copy-pasting the psychology, the state of readiness into new sports and becoming a champion there, and also 2 Nordic championships and Baltic championships and 1 European.
And the sports were which?
So swimming, triathlon, modern pentathlon, and horseback riding, eventing, for those of you who know what that is.
But just to show, like, to change that mindset into quite different sports, you know, it takes a lot. You know, I just thought to mention that because you're being a bit humble. Second question, very briefly. What if you're a little bit shy? You know, some of us, we might, you know, or we want to listen a bit, you know. So maybe the body language, what do you do to not be misunderstood? Just because you're just listening and thinking a bit, and you're just kind of, you don't want to be the one like...
And it's a super good question, especially when the pace is so fast as now. You know, I could easily spend 2 or 3 weeks talking in this tempo about this, you know, topic. And when we only have 30 minutes, go like, so is there something wrong with me if I feel or act like this? No, not at all. Not at all. I just want to point out that there's a choice here. So being shy, for instance, well, that's an energy too. And you could rehearse it and stay in it and become even greater, you know, in the area of shyness. Or you can change it if you want to, but only if you want to. And find it, you know, necessary for the person you want to become. Because people at I'd say just for the sake of the argument, performing or succeeding at a higher level than you, they are in a different state of emotions or energy. Their state of readiness is differently. And the story they tell themselves are different than the ones performing at a lower level. So we want to come up with a story that helps us. And one of the things that really helps us is the energy inside, because the quality of what we can tell ourselves about our opportunities, the meaning we give to things, people, situations, opportunities, goals, they enhance as the quality of our emotion does.
Rasmus, thank you very much. Again,
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy.
Rasmus Bagger, everybody.